They're changing. Where are they?
And your
I can't think straight.
Matthew made this very smart decision to have spicy noodles before filming this.
Literally right before.
Welcome back to our channel. It's nice
dang.
to see you guys. Ooh, the sun is sunning right now.
Now I lost track of what I was going to say.
Anyways, we asked you guys on Instagram and on TikTok your questions about us, and so we're going to answer your questions this video. We're going to do a cute little Q&A.
Oh, I remembered. Just because you're in bed, don't act like you're tired.
Okay, the fact that you thought about that and then just continued to say it.
Let's drop the intro.
We got a lot of questions. So we're going to try our best to get through as many as we can.
You guys rock.
We won't be able to get through all of them in the time of the video, but whatever we don't get through, we'll just film another Q&A one day. There's so many interesting ones.
There is a lot of good ones.
Let's see. Oh, this is a good one. The first question is...
So I'll answer it and then...
Well, it doesn't matter. You can both answer.
Oh, right.
First question is, who confessed their feelings first? Confessed.
Yeah. So, we know that you had a crush on me first, but you were too scared. So, to make things easy...
Why do you have to preface like that? Why do you have to do that?
So, I definitely confessed first. I had a feeling... I knew you liked me.
Yeah, but okay, that's not the question. Then question is who confessed first. You don't have to give no backstory.
Why can't I give a backstory?
Because you're trying to give a backstory to make it seem like, oh, I just had to because she was never going to do it.
No, I'm saying I confessed first.
Okay, then just leave it at that.
Why can't we talk about how you liked me first?
Nobody's upset about that.
Beep, beep, beep. I confessed my feelings first. I think I did it over Kick when I was like...
If y'all don't know what Kick is,
when I was like
you're
9 years old, right? And Carly's profile picture was like this.
Here's a picture of my wet hair like this.
Like... Carly's head is like... You know what I should have done? I should have made like my profile picture like the other way. Did you guys live together before marriage?
No. We didn't.
No, we did not. We don't believe personally in doing that.
Mm-hmm.
We feel like it opens the door to a lot of things that the door shouldn't be open to before you're married. We waited till we got married. We then moved in right after we got married into our apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Carly actually moved into this apartment by herself for like 3 days before we got married.
Yeah.
And then I moved in my stuff, and we believe that healthy relationship. Like, you wait to move in together until you get married.
Right. I think also something that we, like a saying that Matthew says sometimes is like, when you go buy a car, like, they don't like let you drive around the car for a couple of weeks and do you decide if you like it or not.
No, it's the saying is like, and my pastor actually said it to me, it's like, you don't have to test drive a Tesla or a Nissan or a Ferrari to know it's a great car.
Right.
And that's how I feel about Carly. Like, she is way better than those cars. I didn't have to test drive her and live in the apartment but with her before we got married to know if she was going to make a great wife. I had to know her as a person to know that she was going to make a great wife. That's the saying. Don't get my saying is wrong.
Period. Okay. Another question is, do you believe that there is a concept called right person, wrong time?
Yeah. I personally do. I think that even applied to us. Yeah. I think that...
But now we are right person, right time.
Yeah, we were right person, wrong time many times in the past. We'll get into that. We're good.
It was a bit turbulent.
Yeah, but I definitely believe there's a right person, wrong time. You know, there could be a wrong person, wrong time too as well. Like, you know, it's just... You
also can't be blind to wrong person, wrong time. Because, like, your heart will be like, oh, right person, wrong time. And sometimes it's really just wrong person in general.
Imagine saying wrong person, right time.
I mean,
you're the wrong person.
Some
for
people
the right
actually think that way. Like, some people would be like,
well, it depends on what you're dating for.
Right.
Yeah. If you're dating for love, then, you know, you're not looking for wrong person, right time.
You're looking for right person, right time.
I definitely feel like there is a right person, wrong time, because you could both be in two different seasons of life. One of you could be way more mature than the other one. One of you could just be growing up still, and you're just not meant for each other in that moment.
Right.
But, you know, or both of you could have maturing to do. And, you know, when you both mature, then you're ready. It's the right person, right time. I like this one. Tell us about you two worshiping God together.
I feel like that started when we were younger.
Started when we were younger, you were 7.
My boo! Anyways, It started out when we were younger, so we like were in choir together. Matthew did not like choir, so he left.
Wait, can I tell them what happened?
What happened?
So my first ever choir audition went so bad. So my dad was like, I want you to do choir and everything. And I was like, sure, like that sounds great. And then I remember practicing this song by Hillsong called Stronger. And then he takes me to my first audition. They surrounded you. I was like 8. I'm like, dude, I don't want to do this. And they surrounded me with all these different leaders.
Yeah.
And then I didn't sing a word. I felt like I embarrassed my dad, but I was like, nah, I ain't doing this. Like, I'm not singing in front of all these
scary.
people. And so I didn't sing a word. So then they're like, let him come back another time. And then after a couple months, I came back when they had auditions again. And I sang that song out. That's why that song is near and dear to my heart.
You should sing it for them right now.
No.
Yeah, so we started out in choir, and then we started leading worship together in like junior high school ministry and stuff. And then when we went to our Bible school, we got way more involved into worship. We were never on the same worship team because at Bible school there's like multiple worship teams. But
they didn't want to see.
Yeah,
no, just
kidding. That's a whole other thing. That's a whole reason why we're not on the same team. Anyways, we were not on the same worship team.
Which is crazy. I felt like me and Carly could have been great on the same worship team.
Well, there's a reason why they didn't put us on the same worship team. It's because we liked each other.
Because we were
So
lovers.
at Bible school, like they're like no.
Yeah.
So they didn't put us on the same worship team, which is fine. But we got to do a lot of worship experiences together. Like there is a worship night that we put together. I was in a ministry and we put together this worship night, and I put me and Matthew on the same worship team. Duh. So we got to do that and like a bunch of other things. And then when we got to this church, we started leading, like being Matthew's like the worship leader of our church, and then I like co-lead with Matthew. So yeah, we've always been on the same wavelength.
Yeah, it's
like
so crazy. Like a lot of times during worship, me and Carl would sing the same run or the same riff, and then after worship, we're like, how did you know I was gonna that's really cool.
We're just like that.
Yeah, of course we have different ideas of certain things we like and dislike, but for the most part there's a lot of things we share like in common with worship. And I also feel like worship just deepened our own relationship as well.
For sure.
Doing it together. For sure. Sorry. Okay.
Okay, so this other question says, what are some of the things you and Matt argue about?
Some of the things that we can argue about.
I feel like it's like stupid things sometimes.
Yeah, honestly.
Just
it's not like
the human flesh in you.
Yeah, it's nothing like major, like crazy. It's honestly just little things. Like I literally sometimes we'll get heated and I'm like, I'm happy this is what we're arguing about.
Yeah.
Like it'll be something so small and I'm like, you know what? I'm glad that this is what we have to argue about. Like it's like the smallest thing,
really
rather than we're arguing about something crazy. So, just normal things like if we don't like how one of us is talking to each other, or if we're both,
or if like a lot of the times it's like a joke. Or a joke that it's supposed to be a joke for the other person, but the other person doesn't take it as a joke.
Yeah,
that's actually the main time that we get an argument.
We both do that to each other.
Yeah, where it's like I'll say something and like it's a joke, and Matthew's like that's not funny, or Matthew will say something and I'm like that's not funny.
Yeah,
that's so normal.
Yeah, and there's things you just have to work past. There's things that you have to understand, maybe the intent behind the joke, and maybe it was the wrong time to say the joke. We've had moments where we've said stupid things.
Right, joke, wrong time.
No, wrong joke, wrong time. How did it feel when you guys broke it off when you were young?
That was depressing. So, if you guys don't know, the longest me and Matthew have ever been out of each other's life is how long?
4 months.
4 months. In our whole time of knowing each other, since we were 7 years old, the longest we have not been in each other's life is 4 months, which is like, for some people they're like, oh, we disconnected and 3 years later we met up. But like, it was only 4 months. And like, it's not like we didn't see each other in those 4 months. Like, our friends groups were kind of friends-ish. So, like, we would still be in places and like stuff. It's not like we just didn't see each other. But
it was the longest we didn't communicate. We didn't talk.
We didn't communicate on our own.
Good. We wouldn't be in places, but we did not see. I'm like,
shut up. You suck. Anyways, as long as we didn't communicate.
Wrong joke.
What is the question?
Wrong joke, right time.
What is the question?
How did it feel when we broke it off? When we were younger.
So yeah, it was rough because like you think about, you go from texting somebody all the time, like you tell this one person everything. Matthew was like, we were best friends, even if at the time like we were still kind of like toxic, lol. We were definitely best friends. Like we told each other everything. We always talked about things. So that was a hard time. I think the hardest thing though, after not talking to somebody for so long and then like being back in each other's lives, especially like in a relationship, is like you have to catch that person up on, like, think about other people that are like 3 years. Like catching up from the 4 months felt like so much. And I can imagine people like that don't know each other for years and stuff. But yeah, that was the hardest thing, I think. Not talking and not knowing when you'll speak again. That's the hardest thing.
Yeah, or if you'll speak again.
Or if, right.
Because like that was one thing I went through.
Your hairs were brown.
Are we even gonna make up? Like, are we gonna really talk again?
Where is this gonna go? I
kind of had this mindset that when we ended it that time, like when we were younger, that was it. So it did hurt. Like,
but I'm back, baby.
It did. It definitely hurt, and it definitely was tough. Like I remember sitting in class sometimes, and I just like because we were in 2 different states also. That's another thing. It's not like we would only see each other like... We don't go to the same
school. We don't live in the same neighborhood.
We would only see each other like just in passing like once a week. So I think it was definitely hard. Even times where we'd be 16, just like you'd still have that feeling of hoping to see that person even though you're split off.
That's a crazy time. Let's do like 2 more questions.
Okay? Yeah.
Did you ask for Carly's dad's permission before proposing? Let me tell you the tea. Just kidding, it's not tea.
It's not tea.
So, I grew up with my grandma for the majority of my life. My grandma raised me. And I will get more into this in another video. Maybe I can like share like our early lives or something. But before I lived with my grandma, I was actually in foster care, and my parents split up around that time. So my grandma and my grandfather, like, they are like the sole guardians of my life. So instead of asking for my dad's permission because he's not in my life, Matthew asked my grandma's permission because she's like my sole caretaker.
And your grandpa.
My grandpa is too as well, but yeah, you asked both of them. Yeah.
So my perspective was, there's more to that. I wrote your grandma a letter.
Yeah, because that was her when she was growing up. That's what they did, like in the Bahamas, I guess, for her family, that they wrote whoever they were to be married to, they wrote their parents a letter. So Matthew did that.
So I wrote your grandma a letter, and then I sat down with her in a park.
Yeah. And
we just discussed, and I asked her blessing, and then, she gave me her blessing. And then with your grandpa, I sat down with him.
My grandpa's so easy.
And he's so chill. It was just like, he was actually so, and your grandma was happy about it too, but your grandpa was also just really like, so happy that you were marrying me.
Yeah.
It was like, usually like, it's like,
oh, what are you doing? Yeah.
Yeah, usually it's a little more, but he was just so supportive from like, and he was happy that I was getting to marry you too.
Yeah.
So it was really cool. So yeah, I did ask for permission. I didn't just take her away.
Period.
You want to do one last question?
One last question. Let's see.
Was race ever an issue for your parents or Matt's parents when you guys started dating?
Well, when we were dating, I feel like it was mostly my fault. I still was like not 100% comfortable sharing that with my parents. Not because of race.
Oh, like that I was Indian?
No, they know you're Indian.
Oh, so then I was confused.
No, that we were dating. So like I didn't really experience any problems while we were dating. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, same with me.
Yeah, because it's like our parents didn't. I think our cultures are very different than like American culture. It's like I feel like in American culture, parents are really involved in who their person's dating, but I feel like in my culture, it's like weird.
It's like hide it.
It's like
same with mine. It's like
just talk to me when you guys are getting married, kind of.
It's
you know
so
what I mean?
interesting.
It's just very strange.
Yeah.
So we didn't have any problems when we were dating. It was more like when we got engaged. It's like when all the questions, like, I mean, I guess like your parents just are looking out for you, but it's also like generational too, and like immigrant parents. It's like a whole thing, but it was not like racism.
No, like I'll give from my parents never, even though like, sometimes with Indians, it could be like you need to marry within like your own race. I think because also we're Christian, my parents never were like that. Like they were never like all of you guys. Also,
though, your brothers broke the ice. Like not broke the ice, but Matthew's oldest brother got married to somebody who's Hispanic and black.
My 2 sister-in-laws, neither of them are Indian, and it's like if they were Indian or if they weren't, it doesn't even faze me. I'm just like whoever my brothers love, like that's who they love. And so my parents, they never really had like this issue with, especially with me. What they told me was not that you need to marry an Indian girl. They were like, we need to know that the girl you're marrying loves God. That was honestly what they told me. And so they weren't mad that Carly was not Indian. They weren't like upset about that.
Yeah.
So
I think honestly, even like in the Christian community or like Christian families, it doesn't really come down to, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but for us, it didn't really come down to race. It came down to like learning each other's culture, because though our cultures are similar, there are ways that they're very different. So that was kind of the biggest thing, like, oh, well, in their culture they do this, or in their culture they do this and stuff. And like, we know we want to be a part of each other's culture. And it's just like, sometimes you just have to explain a little bit more to people, and that's totally normal. Oh. Which we hear so many stories about people saying like, oh, they're saying they don't want this person to be with this kind of person, and I'm like, thank God we didn't have that experience.
Yeah, a lot. And on Carly's end, like, their family didn't give me any problem that I'm not, Bahamian or anything like that. Like, I never experienced anything from your side, because that was also part of the question. I didn't experience anything from your guys' end at all either. Right. It was honestly like another thing we missed. The biggest thing was about our age.
Yeah, age.
It was about our youth and how young we were getting married.
And you would think
how young we were.
You would think that like, oh, because I see a lot of people on TikTok and stuff. It's like, I think more people that live from the South and stuff, like, they're getting married and they're young, and they said their parents were like overjoyed and stuff. And I think it's different because we live in a completely different part of the United States, where it's like, we live near the city, we live in New Jersey, like, people don't get married at this age around us. Yeah. And like, it's more like, whoa, like, what's happening? We are happy with our decisions.
Of course. Yeah, definitely.
We love you guys. That was good. Those questions were really, really good.
We love you.
Oh, we should do that.
No. Carly says that about everything. We should start trying to do that. We should start doing this.
Because I like your ideas. Really good ideas.
Thank you. Thank you so much for watching.
We love you guys.
Thanks for watching our Q&A, and thank you for your questions. Keep them coming.
Yeah, your questions are good, guys. We're going to do another Q&A maybe in the future. But also let us know what you guys want to see. We've been like loving getting to know you guys and making content that you guys want to see. So let us know what you guys want to see. We will see you on Tuesday.
Peace.